Gentlemen, what if I told you that one private habit you've repeated for decades is quietly draining your energy, dulling your desire, and sabotaging your performance not because you're doing it, but because you're doing it wrong? This isn't about shame, this isn't about stopping. This is about understanding how the male body changes after 50, and why ignoring those changes is costing you firmness, stamina, and confidence every single day. Today, I'm going to expose the 3 most common masturbation mistakes men over 50 make, and more importantly, what your body actually needs instead. When a man crosses the age of 50, his body does not decline overnight, but it does shift its operating system. The problem is that most men continue using habits, stimulation patterns, and expectations that were built for a much younger body. This mismatch is subtle at first, but over time it creates frustration, weaker responses, and confusion about why desire feels the same but performance does not. Biology is not punishing you, it is asking you to adapt. One of the most important changes after 50 happens inside the blood vessels. Arteries naturally become less elastic with age. This means blood does not rush in as fast or stay as long without proper signaling. In younger years, arousal could overpower this limitation. After 50, arousal must be supported by circulation, not forced through intensity. When stimulation is aggressive or rushed, the body interprets it as stress rather than pleasure, triggering adrenaline instead of relaxation. Adrenaline tightens blood vessels, the exact opposite of what erections require. Hormonal signaling also changes in a way most men misunderstand. Testosterone does decline, but not to zero, and not in the way many fear. What actually matters more is how efficiently the body uses testosterone, not how much is present. Overstimulation and constant dopamine spikes from fast, repetitive habits can blunt the brain's response to arousal cues. The result is a man who still wants intimacy but struggles to fully respond to it. This is not loss of masculinity. It is neurological fatigue. Nerve sensitivity shifts as well. After decades of repeated patterns, the nervous system becomes conditioned to specific types of stimulation. If those patterns are narrow, intense, and mechanical, the nerves gradually become less responsive to anything else. This is why some men notice delayed response, numbness, or difficulty maintaining firmness despite strong desire. The nerves are not damaged, they are overtrained in the wrong direction. There is also a recovery component that is almost never discussed. Younger bodies rebound quickly. After 50, recovery takes longer because nitric oxide production, essential for blood vessel expansion, needs time to replenish. Ignoring this reality is like training the same muscle hard every day without rest and wondering why it stops growing. Sexual response is no different. Without adequate recovery, the body adapts downward, not upward. Perhaps the most overlooked change is psychological. Stress, responsibility, and mental load increase with age. When stimulation becomes a quick escape rather than a conscious experience, the brain learns to associate arousal with urgency and tension instead of relaxation and connection. This conditions weaker responses over time, even though desire remains intact. Understanding these changes is not about fear, it is about precision. Men who adjust their habits to match their biology after 50 often experience better control, stronger responses, and greater confidence than they had in their 40s. Not because they push harder, but because they finally work with their body instead of against it. The truth is, nothing about aging automatically takes power away from a man. Ignorance does. The body after 50 is not broken, weak, or beyond repair. It is simply more honest. It responds precisely to what you give it, and it punishes shortcuts that once worked in your youth. When men continue old habits without understanding the biological shift, they unknowingly train their bodies for weaker responses. But when awareness replaces assumption, the body begins to respond with surprising strength and consistency. The 3 mistakes discussed are not moral failures or signs of decline. They are information gaps. Speed without sensation. Stimulation without blood flow awareness and frequency without recovery all send the wrong signals to the nervous system and vascular network. Over time, these signals compound, creating the illusion that something has been lost. In reality, the system has simply been misdirected. Correct the signal, and the response changes. This is how restoration begins, not with force, but with alignment. What separates men who struggle after 50 from those who thrive is not age, genetics, or luck. It is intentional behavior. Hyper-forming men learn to slow down, listen to their bodies, and respect recovery as a tool for rebuilding sensitivity and strength. They understand that masculinity at this stage of life is no longer about intensity or repetition, but about control, efficiency, and awareness. And those qualities do not fade with age, they sharpen. So if there is one message to take forward, let it be this. Your habits are either training your body toward strength or conditioning it toward weakness. Masturbation itself is not the issue. How it is done, when it is done, and why it is done makes all the difference. When you correct these patterns, you don't just protect function. You reclaim confidence, presence, and authority over your own body. And that is something no number on a calendar can ever take away. Thank you for taking the time to be here and for giving your attention to a topic most men are never taught to understand. If this message helped you see your body differently or corrected something you've quietly struggled with, then it has done its job. Knowledge only matters when it's applied, and today, you've taken the first step toward awareness and control. Before you go, remember this. Improvement doesn't come from extremes or fear. It comes from small, informed changes done consistently. Respect your body, listen to its signals, and stop fighting biology. Work with it. Strength after 50 is built through understanding, not pressure. If you found this valuable, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it but won't ask. These conversations matter, and your support helps keep them alive and uncensored. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.